knitting podcast or other crafts as well. I've got a little bit of a different video for you today. I've just been to Japan, got back this week, and I did get a chance to visit a couple of knitting stores in Tokyo. I was really rather sick for a good amount of the trip, so I didn't actually get to visit as many stores for knitting as I would have liked. I had to balance who I was, traveling with is not a knitter, so yeah, I did end up getting a really good amount of things though at the second store I went to. So I'll get into a bit of a review of the stores and then of what I got. I might include a few other bits and pieces that I picked up along the way that are a bit craft or art related. So I hope you enjoy this little bit of a different video from me. Yeah, so the first yarn store that I went into in Tokyo was called Walnut, I think it was Walnut, just Walnut, or Walnut Tokyo or something like that. There is another Walnut store in Kyoto, which I was in first, but I just didn't get a chance to get to it because I was pretty unwell in Kyoto. But I did pick up only a little small thing. I didn't actually film inside the store. It's a nice little boutique. I was particularly looking for some Noro yarns. I really want the Silk Gardens Sock Solo, or it's a very popular yarn that keeps on, is very difficult to get your hands on. So I thought, oh, if I'm in Japan, it's such a Japanese yarn, I'll maybe see if I can find some of that. There was a very small selection of Noro in this store, and it wasn't the weight or colour or a composition that I was really looking for. It was beautiful as well, and they had lots of beautiful yarns. There was particularly a lot of labiename, and there was some Peruvian yarns and other South American yarns, and there was a good bit of Japanese yarns as well, local Japanese yarns. They were lovely yarns, but I didn't feel like, I have so many at home that I didn't feel like I needed anything at that store. I have so many yarns that I've got to cast on projects for that I didn't feel like it was something different enough for me to pick up there, knowing what I already have in my stash. So I just got this cute little packaging. I'll open it up. Sorry for the noise. And I just got some little point protectors because I've been needing some more. I somehow keep losing them. I've lost one of my sunflower cute ones, so now I've just got one sunflower and it's a bit, yeah. Anyway, I'm hoping to see if I can get to the Bendigo Yarn and Sheep Wool Festival, Wool and Sheep Festival I think it's called. Sorry. I'm still recovering a little bit. That's some actually really nice Sakura tea that I got from Japan. Anyway, so yeah, I just got some simple point protectors. It was a lovely little store, worth going to. You'd find some really nice things, but in terms of something that was very unique to me, the second store I went to was blew me away. At first, when I walked in, I was a little bit unsure because it was a very different setup. Everything was on cones, and I wasn't sure what I wanted to get there. But the more I looked, the more unique, interesting, beautiful things. And as I was looking at the compositions of these yarns, I was like, wow, actually there's a lot here. And I ended up spending a good bit of time in that store. It was at the end of the day. The Japanese ladies that were sort of running the store, absolutely lovely, helpful women. And I found a lot of things that I really loved. And they had some nice knit up versions of, they had nice projects that I think they have some free patterns as well. So it's called Knitting Bird Tokyo. I'll link them down in the description box if I can, because they're just, it is definitely worth going to. I've got a video, hopefully I'll put the video here. It was such a special store, and I did end up finding some really beautiful things. The first thing that I sort of picked up, I think, was this yarn here. So if maybe from here it doesn't look like much, but up close, if you can see, it's this black yarn and it's got all these beautiful flecks in it. And usually, as you can tell, I like my color, and I'm not really super into wearing a lot of black, but the color flecks that were in this were really drawn to me. It feels a bit linen-y, and it feels like it's quite tough on your hand, maybe as like a light DK or a sport weight yarn. I think that's probably the best way to describe it. Maybe it's probably on the sport side, but it is 100% silk, and they sell these on the cones by weight. So they told me the cone is 30 grams and doesn't contribute obviously to what you're paying for, but I ended up picking up 400 grams of this yarn to make some summer tops. So this will probably, since Melbourne is in winter, this will probably be cast on a little bit later in the year. Maybe around October, November, I might cast this one on. And since I really like my other summer t-shirt top, I have a few patterns in mind that are between that sport and DK. So I'll put them up just here and here with their names of just what I'm thinking at the moment. It's quite vague. I think there's 5, 6 or something patterns that I'm thinking about. But I think it's just such a beautiful yarn, and it's very interesting. My silk that it's in my last podcast. Maybe I'll just grab it. It's here. It's my Cumulus tee. Yep, back to front. It's super drapey and very soft. But this one, I'm curious about how it's going to drape, but it's almost like a rustic silk. I don't know, I was never expecting to describe a silk as a bit rustic, but it feels like that, or something like a bit closer to linen as well. So I paid, what's this, 7,480 yen, so about $80. And I think that is a phenomenal price for 400 grams of silk, 100% silk. It's 80 Australian dollars. And there is 1,120 meters here. I might even be able to get more than one project out of it, who knows? But I think it's really nice yarn. And yeah, like I say, the pricing in their store was very, very good. I was surprised at how much I got for such a good price. The second thing I picked up was these. Let me see if I can hold this right. If you can see there was this gorgeous scarf knit in the round. So it was stocking net. It was just plain stocking net, and it was knit in the round, and it was just either one, or I think it might have just been one strand of these mohairs. And yeah, I'm just going to do that on a slightly bigger gauge, and I'll make a scarf out of these. So there's this beautiful blue, and then the lilac purple, and this grey, cream, sort of camelish brown, and then a darker brown. And I think together, which I've kind of lost the, there we go, that's the sort of order I'm thinking of, which was exactly how it was on the shelf. I think it'll be, I wanted the blue because I think it'll be a nice pop, but I could also take out the blue and make it, I like the pop. So these are, I think they're 20 grams each. Let me have a look. Everything's in Japanese, so it's 20 grams, 240 meters. And the composition, it's 60% something and 40% something. I will put on the screen what it is after I use Google Translate to help me out. But this was 1,100 yen, so about 12 Australian dollars. And I think yeah, I'm really looking forward. I really want to actually cast this on quite soon. As soon as I sort of get going, actually I might cast this on now that I've got my needles freed up, the small circumference Xiaogu needles from the beanie. I might cast this on because it's a good stocking net project to just have going while I'm working on the Helia sweater, which is in the podcast I've just filmed. So I can't wait to get started on that. That's the second project type thing. The third project, I was getting really excited. And the more I was looking, the more I was finding. So I got this again. This is, I think, 100% silk as well. It's this almost, I wouldn't even call this light fingering. I'd probably almost call it lace weight. It's beautiful. Again, a rustic silk feel. And so there's 50 grams here, 425 meters, and it was 1,320 yen, so about 15 Australian dollars, 14, 15. And I think, again, really great price, 100% silk. It's just beautiful. Here we go. Purple, but it's got this like mild whiteness to it as well. And I thought this could be a bit crazy, and if it doesn't look good, I won't do it. But I thought this mohair could be really interesting to combine and make a beanie or something. So this is the same as yarn as the scarf project, and I just think that could be interesting. You know, if it doesn't work, it doesn't work, and I use them for other projects, but I just kind of was curious about this combination. Yeah, so that is the third, and there still is more. I also got these metallic yarns, which the yarn is a bit stretchy. Okay, so it's hard to see the colors here. Maybe I will. So they did tell me keep the netting on because they are very slippery and otherwise would slip off. If you can see, the beautiful purple and light blue. It's very similar to, I guess, these, right? And I think this could make such an interesting. I found some really cool bags in Japan. Actually, I will get one just quickly, just to prove the point. Okay, so I found this in a little store. It was in Shibuya. No, it was in Omotesando, I think. Anyway, it is this really cool netted bag, which is made out of fishnet. Has a little like skirt at the bottom there. And I just really thought it was super cool. It was like $30. Someone's handmade this. And it was really inspiring me. And okay, I'll put it on. I thought it was just a really cool, interesting bag for summer. I think it'll be really great. And putting things inside it actually works pretty well. Anyway, there was a lot of really cool little bags like this. I'll put in another picture of one that I really want to make out of some scrap yarn. I think that'll be a really fun project. And it had like this cord strap that I think would be super great presents for people. So I kind of want to do that soon with some of my scraps when I've got enough. But anyway, that's what sort of inspired these are. You can see they're already coming out a little bit. I should put this back on, but there was a knitted up bag in this yarn. So I think these were both 65 grams, 2,970 yen, so about $33 per one. And then the bag that was knitted up, it is in the video. it is also on there. I'm not sure if it's quite my style, but I thought I would get the pattern, the one with the pattern as well. So this is just a silver. Yeah, it's just a really nice silver. And I realized I should have gotten more of this style because it's the same price but 100 grams. So I don't know what the pricing reason was there. And you get the free pattern. I thought, oh, it might be more expensive. But anyway, I should have read properly. I am not sure what the composition is, but it's, yeah, these stretchy metallic yarns, and they're quite weighty when it was knitted up. And I think you can, yeah, make this whole bag out of 100 grams. And I thought it would be interesting if I did make the bag to gradient between the silver, the blue, and the purple. I thought that would be really pretty. But also, I'm not sure if that bag style necessarily is for me, but I thought it'd be a good base pattern to have on it. So that's everything I got in that yarn store. We had lots of fun talking to the ladies and inspecting the store. It was really cool. So yeah, yep, I had a great time there at that yarn store. Would recommend them, oh yeah, very highly. In Kyoto, I actually went to a little button store and I picked up these buttons. I'll take them out of the package. So I have seven of these buttons. If you can see, oh, focus. Be a beauty influencer. There we go. Yeah, it's this bit of a really nice floral pattern and a little diamante in the center, and then the button is sort of shaped like that, and it has that back for the threading. It might be hydrangeas. To be honest, I'm not sure what flower is printed on there. But yeah, I got 7 of these. Not sure if I'll use them in a knitting or a sewing project, but yeah, I thought they were really pretty. They were quite expensive, as all buttons are, so I guess that's the only, like, it wasn't cheap to get this little pack of buttons. I think, I can't remember the exact price. It might have been something like $30. So it was pretty expensive. It's just a little button store, sort of walking to these sort of palace grounds in Kyoto while, yeah, walking near the Nisiji market. Anyway, that is the buttons that I picked up. The 2 last things are some books. So there's the Japanese Sense of Beauty and this one. So I got these from a place called the Nezu Museum, which is very close to where we were staying in Minato. Anyway, this museum was beautiful. I'll put in some videos of sort of the gardens, because there's the 2 floors of very old calligraphy and ceramics and statues, and there was, yeah, like some tea sets and some old artifacts. So it was a really cool collection, worth seeing anyway. But part of what made this place really special was the garden. The garden was gorgeous. And there was some koi fish, and just, it was really beautiful and very nicely cared for, and quite large, very large actually. Yeah, there was some little tea houses there, and I would really recommend that museum. So anyway, I got these 2 books, The Japanese Sense of Beauty, and it's sort of I wonder, yeah, there's some great artwork throughout. Lots of photos. Yeah. And then once you get to the book, I thought it would be a really interesting read, and I know my friend will also enjoy reading this. So the contents are sort of the word and image, the Japanese aesthetic consciousness, Japanese beauty and Western beauty, roots of the Japanese aesthetic consciousness are the sort of main key points. And then there's lots of chapters within there. Yeah, I think it'll be a really interesting book to read, and combine that with lots of nice photos. I'm really looking forward to reading this one. This one is going to be much more of a picture book to me, as it is in Japanese, so it opens up a different way or reads from a different direction. Oh, I actually got a postcard as well from my friend who's living in the UK at the moment. I'd like to send her a little. And this is one of the artworks. It was a ceramic like vase type thing, or wine piece to store wine, and I just loved it. Two sheep back to back. Yeah, I've got a couple of these on my fridge now as well, but I've got to send her a postcard. And there you go. It's the sort of sign of the Nezu Museum. That was my favourite piece anyway of the museum. So this one is much more picture oriented. I guess I could use Google Translate to work through it, but it has lots of pieces of Japanese art, which I think is just so beautiful. I also did enjoy a couple of galleries and walking through galleries and different museums. I do really love their artwork style. There's something very calming and elegant about a lot of their work. So, I mean, I'm enjoying looking through this that I was showing you. Anyway, I would really recommend that museum and going to Japan in general if you haven't been. There's lots of amazing things to see. Their art and crafts are also really, I think, high level and special. So I had a great time. Despite being sick, I still got to do and see a lot, and got some, actually, there's one more thing I'll show you just because I really love them. Speaking of their style and stuff, I got these super cute, I think this shoe brand's becoming very popular, Onitsuga Tiger, but these are the cutest little shoes, and I've worn them a lot since I got them and brought them back, and actually it works really well with this top that I made for Japan. But yeah, there's lots of really cool things you can find, and it doesn't have to be expensive things necessarily. Japan has plenty of that as well, but stuff like this I think is really unique, and I did really enjoy my second trip to Japan now. Yeah, so anyway, I'll leave that there. Thank you for watching, and get to Japan.